Welcome back. Still, it is episode 9 of Paper 1 Approach. We're still looking at the content and the components, the structure of Paper 1, and exam style questions and expected exam prompts, and of course, sample responses. So, this time round, we are going to look at speech delivery. What and how are you going to, when you're asked to the preparations for delivering a speech, what are the do's and don'ts? What exactly you're supposed to be doing before, prior to, and during the speech delivery? Now, first of all, let's talk about the causes of fear, especially when you're called upon to give a speech on a given topic. Now, causes of fear, there could be of past failures during the presentation or plan to succeed instead. Now, there is poor or insufficient preparation. Nothing gives you more confidence than being ready. Discomfort with your own body and movement. That could be the causes of fear. Now, how do you deal with anxiety during speech delivery? A speaker can try the suggestions below. Remember, they are the suggestions that deal with anxiety before and on the day of speech. Before the day of speech, know your topic by doing adequate and thorough research. You'll be sure of presenting accurate information and be able to answer questions asked by the audience members. Practice delivering your speech several times. This helps you to be sure of your organization of the main point. On that day, do some physical exercises like press ups, push walls, etc. to reduce anxiety. Use simple relaxation techniques like taking deep breaths, tightening and relaxing your muscles, etc. Wear clothes that you feel confident in. When you feel good about yourself, your confidence level is boosted. You don't need to adjust your clothes or hair during your speech. Spot friendly faces in the crowd. These are people who give you positive feedback, for example, nodding, smiling. Such faces give you encouragement to continue speaking. Number 5, produce ways to hide your anxiety. For example, you may decide in case of excessive sweating, wear clothes that will not allow your audience to detect. If your hands shake, use gestures to mask the shaking. I do that one most of the time. And in case you do, are you not alone? Now, discussion. How to prepare for a discussion in a class. Remember, good learners, that this is a prompt question that is usually set. It's a performance question. So you needed to have these particular critical thinking skills. You need to be very good in articulative and be able to see reasons behind any of maybe the performance questions that you'll be posed with. Now, a discussion is a process where the change of ideas and opinions are debated in a group. A group that comprises a small number of people is given a topic to discuss. How do you prepare? Preparation for group discussion. Now, do the following before you start the discussion. 1. Select or choose group leaders. Choose the secretary to write the points down and the chair to lead the discussions. 2. Research around the topic to make sure that you have the points. You can get the points from the sources including newspapers and magazines, friends, relatives and teachers, textbooks, internet, and the television. Arrive early for the discussions. It is advisable that you do so, that you start early and finish early. 4. Gather writing materials like pen and notebook. 5. Prepare with questions to ask. Participating in a group discussion. Remember the tips below for success during the discussion. Learn to listen to each other and respond to what other people have to say. Speak with moderation. What you say is usually more important than how much you say. When your mouth goes dry, drink some water. Back up each point you put across. You can explain your points in several ways, including provide facts or statistics to support it, quoting expert opinion, explain why I said what you said, and referring to your own experience. Stay calm and polite. Use polite words like may I, please, etc. Take notes of important words and ideas. Speak clearly. Number 7, speak loud enough to be heard by all the group members. The common mistakes that usually made during a discussion, they would include a domination of the discussion or dominate the discussion, interrupt abruptly when somebody is inaudible or when you are inaudible, be inaudible, carry out mini meetings, or talk to one another. Mini meetings means within a meeting, you're conducting maybe a 1, 2, or 3 kind of a meeting out of, let's say, a group discussion of 20 members. That is the common mistake, or that would be one of the common mistakes that should be made during discussion. All right, good learners, it's going to be a crash course, and that's why we're going like this. The next thing that you're going to be looking at is the oral literature. Oral literature defined. What is it? It is a form of art verbalized, dramatized, and performed. Oral literature can be categorized as either fiction or nonfiction. Nonfiction is informal text that deals with an actual real life subject. Fiction is a text that deals with non-factual subject. Forms of oral literature. There are various genres of literature. These genres include oral narratives. We're going to be looking at each of those later on. Oral poems or songs rather. We have proverbs, riddles, tongue twisters, puns. Now, proverbs, riddles, tongue twisters, and puns are short forms of oral literature, but this is because of their length. Reasons for learning oral literature. Why do we really need to learn oral literature? The study of oral literature is important to a student since he or she can understand his or her culture and appreciate the culture of others, can appreciate his or her history, appreciates the creativity in oral literature as a means of understanding other African arts. Fieldwork. First of all, we'd have to look at what is the definition of fieldwork. It refers to the process of collecting oral literature material from the field. Field study can be carried out by anyone, including a student. How is it important to study or doing fieldwork? Since oral literature is a performed art, a student can witness and experience the performance. When this is written, the life aspects are lost. It enables a student to have contact with the community and the culture of that community. A student is equipped with research skills. It also enables the recording of the history of a community. What are the stages taken in fieldwork? There are 5 key stages that are taken in fieldwork. 1, preparation. Adequate preparation should be taken into consideration for meaningful research. You can do the following. 1, identify the narrator or informant. Identify the location of the informant. Plan where to visit the informant. Plan the necessary tools for recording the materials. Get administrative permission to conduct the research. Decide on the method of data collection to use. And of course, budget for the fieldwork. 2, material collection. This is where the actual information is gathered. There are different methods of collecting oral literature, including observation, interviews, participation, and use of questionnaires, etc. Recording of information. You can record the material collected by writing the information, literally writing it, typing the information, or filming it. And 4, the part 4 down there, we have processing the information. So we've got recording the information entails the three processes that we've already seen up there: writing the information, good learners, typing the information, and or 3, filming it. Part 4, processing the information. Now, in preparation for interpretation, analysis, and dissemination, scrutinize the information. That is the part that makes the processing of the information. Scrutinize the information. Put down the recorded information in writing. You can do this word for word. This is called transcription. Transcription rather. You can translate it into other languages that you would like it to be shared. 5, analyzing or analysis and interpretation of the material. At this stage, that is the 5th stage, classify the material into genres and sub-genres using particular criteria. Identify the themes, identify styles used, identify functions of the item, interpret the information, draw conclusions. Well, I've been too fast there. You might as well want to pause within the video. Get the best out of it and let it be very useful even as you're preparing for these November exams. Now, methods of collecting oral literature material. Interviews. An interview involves meeting the respondent face to face and verbally asking questions in order to seek the required information. Two, recording performance. That's one way of collecting oral literature. First-hand information on things like performance and chanting can be recorded using tape recorders, etc., during the festivals in which they are performed. Three, observation. This is a way of gathering information or data by watching behavior and events or noting physical characteristics in their natural settings. Observation can either allow one to know he or she is being observed or without him or her not being aware. Participation. The collector of the material can also participate in the enactment of the oral forms like dance and song, that literally participating, etc. If he or she has the skills to. It is important to note that his or her participation should not distract him or her from her investigation roles. 5. Administering questionnaires. A questionnaire is a research instrument containing a series of questions and prompts given to the informant for the purpose of gathering information. Methods of recording oral literature materials. Memory of the researcher. There are individuals who can remember all the information collected, especially if it is not long. Use of tape recorders, videotaping, written records. You can have writing materials to put down the information that was gathered. Challenges likely to be encountered during the fieldwork. An oral researcher can encounter problems while in the field. Some of the challenges one is likely to face to seek the required information include language barrier. If the researcher is unable to understand the language of the informant and vice versa, and then the part that the no information is likely to be collected if in case of language barrier. Hostility of the informant community, transport challenges, it might be expensive, the informant might ask for payments. Good learners, that also marks the end of this particular tiny little episode, but I hope that it enlightens, especially when it comes to performance questions where you're required to give, maybe suggest or give ideas, give opinions of what you think a specific performance didn't go through, or what was it to be done, or what conditions were to be maybe looked into for this particular performance aspects to be successful. And I find this particular item useful even as you're preparing for the end of year exams. And finally, this work, if you came across it and it's your first time, I am Fresh Sherlock. Give it a thumbs up there to support. That is a subscription, and of course a sharing with good friends that this work would be of significance. I wish you the very best. Good day.